You called down the thunder, well now you got it. So run, you cur. Run! Tell all the other curs the law's coming! You tell them I'm coming! And hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Welcome to the Dynasty Defined podcast, a show discussing the most decorated program in the history of sport, the Oklahoma State Cowboys wrestling program. Today, we have a really exciting guest joining us all the way from Eufaula, Oklahoma. He is your returning NCAA finalist at 125 pounds and has a bunch of accolades under his belt that we'll list off at some point, I'm sure. But Troy Spratley joining us today. So, and as always, I guess it's Lee Cothran, your host, and then also our co-host here, Dayton Fix. So, yeah, Troy, thank you so much for joining. Really excited to have you on. I know you're not much of a podcast guy, but glad to finally have you on talking about cowboy wrestling and your come up, man. I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, I'm not much of a podcaster. I kind of try to stay away from the stuff online. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, that's a good policy. Staying off the stuff online is. I wish I was better at it, but I guess we wouldn't be here if that was the case. I know Dayton's really good at it too, so I commend you guys for blocking out all the BS that's out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity out there, so you just gotta stick to the positive.
It's crazy how it's mostly negative, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then when you try to bring positivity to it, then they really don't like that.
Yeah.
Boy, I think back to 2021, 2020, 2019, with some of the stuff that I was putting out there for cowboy wrestling, and man, oh man, it was not well received. But I've always felt that being positive is a better way to go about life, right? And,
Definitely.
Whatever. It's their problem. It's not my problem. So, well, cool. Well, Troy, really curious about your come up in the sport of wrestling. I know that, you have a lot of ties and deep roots in Oklahoma and wrestling in, the youth circuits coming up, being part of Eric Guerrero's camp over in Bixby, but you eventually graduated from Plano East High School, or not Plano East. Was it Plano East or Plano West?
No, so I went to Plano West my junior year, and then I moved back to Eufaula, Oklahoma for my senior year and graduated from there.
Okay, see, so again, lots of kind of gray area.
Yeah, there is a gray area on that.
Through, coming up in the sport, where'd you start wrestling?
Yeah, so I was probably like 4 years old, and I was usually a pretty high energy kid, and my grandpa just one day just came in and was like, hey, I'm going to take him down to wrestling practice. My dad was working somewheres, and so my dad was like, yeah, it's fine, take him down. And so I went down. I originally grew up in New York, so that's where I'm originally from. I lived there for 15 and a half years, and then I transferred into Wyoming Seminary my freshman year of high school. So I went there for a year, and then my dad had got a job offer in Oklahoma. So then I was like, well, I'm just going to go out to Oklahoma. And then that's where I eventually went to Collinsville my sophomore year with Jordan Williams. And then after that, I had met John Hardy, who was coaching Tegan at the time at Plano West. And so this was kind of all like when that COVID stuff was going on. And I was like, well, I'm going to go check this out while COVID's going on. There's really not much going on. So I went down and hung out with Tegan, and we got a couple practices in, and then we kind of became friends, and we just trained every single day during COVID with Coach Hardy and him. So that's where I stayed. And then going into my junior year, I was getting ready to go to school, and they pretty much like ruled me ineligible because I was getting recruited to the school apparently for wrestling. So I couldn't even wrestle my junior year at all. So then I was like, well, there's really no point in me wrestling my senior year either. So I just kind of trained my whole senior year and like out there, but I was going to school online in Eufaula because that's where my family was uh, around in that area. So I just trained and then did online school and didn't wrestle the high school season and then showed up at the US Open and ended up winning that. And then I went to the World Team Trial Finals, ended up losing in the best of three to Jory, and then I went to Minnesota. Didn't really like it there and wanted to enter the portal. Kind of wanted to go back. I already knew I wanted to go back home. It just I didn't when I was coming out of high school, I didn't know if that was kind of the place I wanted to be at the time. But as soon as I entered the portal, I was like, yeah, I want to go back home and be a Cowboy. And then that's when I reached out to Dayton and stuff after I went through the process of the recruiting stuff when I was in the portal. So yeah, and I kind of was like, and then as soon as I left, me and Tegan are really close friends. I mean, they were saying that I was like trying to recruit him to our program, and I was like, dude, like he wanted to come because he wants to be around me. He didn't really know very many people still at Minnesota because we're kind of laid back and kind of keep to ourselves a little bit. And he was in that weird area where he kind of had that injury going on, so he wasn't really competing very much. And so, and we also redshirt. So, and then we were like, yeah, we want to go back home, be closer to our family. Just plus, you got the whole state of Oklahoma behind you when you out there drawing an orange singlet. So, but yeah, that's pretty much. I came from all the way from New York.
Wow. So I mean that's quite a journey. I guess just to make sure that we have a good linear thing here, you grew up really in upstate New York.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So that's where you started wrestling. Where was the camp? Was it in like Rochester or like, who were you around then? Was the
No one. I would. So when I was younger, probably up until I was about 12, I trained in like my small town of Norwich, New York, and Sherburne, Elville. Like they're right next to each other. And then probably when I was about like 12 years old, I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna stick with this and not do any other sports. So I started taking it pretty serious when I was like 12, and I would travel down to Pennsylvania at Dark Knights Wrestling Club, where Sammy Sasso's from, Julian Klebo, all those guys. They used to be training in there. So I was in that room pretty much when I was 12 years old up until I went to seminary.
amazing? And your grandpa, how did he know about wrestling? Does it, I mean, it's not really surprising to see your demeanor on the mat still, and the way you carry yourself now. It's not surprising to see that you were a quote unquote high energy kid. But your grandpa,
Yeah.
what was it that made him think about wrestling? How did he know about the sport? Did they wrestle? Did your dad wrestle?
Yeah, my dad wrestled a little bit. My family actually, they more so just they either worked or they raced. My uncle used to race dirt bikes, and my dad used to race four wheelers. They liked to race, but they were probably more serious about baseball. But I wasn't very into baseball or good at it. So, but yeah, so my dad used to wrestle a little bit, and then my grandpa was probably like, yeah, this might be good for him.
Amazing. Yeah, so that's really fun. So I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what brought your dad to Eastern Oklahoma from uh upstate New York? It sounds like, job opportunities I, I don't know what kind of industry. I mean, unless it was prior to Oklahoma and he's in data science or data center engineering.
Yeah, no. He when he was younger, he used to do like cable fiber optics,
Okay.
and so he used to travel a lot on the road, and then he stopped doing that for a little while, and then as soon as I went from seminary to Collinsville, he got that job opportunity to come back out, and he pretty much just like gambled everything and like left everything from back home and took a pretty big risk, but it paid off. And
Nice.
he does fiber optics, and so that's what he does.
So you transfer around a lot. You kind of miss your last 2 years of high school wrestling, but you competed at a high level in the freestyle circuit in the summertime. I mean, as you mentioned, you were a World Team Trials finalist twice, right? And did both times well, one time you lost to Yori Volk, and then another time you lost to Luke Lillidahl. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, but just consistently around the top of the field. And your recruitment process to Minnesota, I mean, I understand that, Tegan was already up there, right? He was gray shirting. Uh,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
um, but Minneapolis is a long, long, long way from it sounds like any of the towns you lived in,
Yeah.
maybe with the
Yeah.
exception of
Yeah.
Plano. And then same with
Yeah.
Tegan, Durant and Minneapolis have probably zero
Yeah.
in common.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, it was kind of just that thing. Like our coach, he had went to Minnesota and wrestled there, and so it was just like, well, me and Tegan probably want to go and be on the same team together, and that was kind of just our plan. Coming out of high school, we wanted to be on the same team together, win national titles together. So it was kind of a no brainer, but just things didn't happen to work out there, so
Yeah.
we decided to come be Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and that's all well and good. What was your recruitment process like? In Minnesota is a blue chip program, right? Our blue blood program, really. I know that they've had some rough times over the past few years, but they still obviously have great talent there. And then in the room around that time, I mean, was like Ethan Lezak still there, and some other
When
really
I was
good.
there, no, he
No,
wasn't.
he
No,
wasn't. Okay.
no, no.
Um, who was the guy that when you were redshirting, he was the starter at 125. I cannot remember his name off the top of my head.
Patrick McKee.
Patrick McKee, right? So the guy who really loved wrestling in the bottom side of the NCAA bracket. um,
Yeah,
but didn't he like come in third after losing the first round twice or something like that?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, something like that. That's crazy. Yeah,
Um, really loved wrestling. He just really wanted to get his money's worth on the trip. He wanted to wrestle
yeah,
at
for
the
sure.
matches.
He wanted to get as many matches in as he could.
Yeah. So you go up there, but what other options did you have? I'm sure you were looking, I mean, being a world team finalist and, having some of the prep accolades that you have, what was it that was, or what other schools were y'all looking at? And uh, I'd love to hear a little bit more about just that process for you. Was Oklahoma State in the picture at that time?
Yeah, they were in there. They're actually in my top five schools. I think just I kind of already had made up my mind, and I was like, well, I don't want to be talking to this school while I'm talking like, oh, I'm already thinking about going to this school. So I kind of just shut all the other schools down instead of keeping my options open and seeing them out and taking visits. I didn't ever take a visit, so something I probably wish I did, but things happen to work out how they worked out. So
Yeah. Well, cool. And I'm sure Stillwater aligns a bit more with what you enjoy to do than
yeah,
Minneapolis.
yeah, no, that's definitely for sure.
So, and not that I mean, and look, my co-host for the Pin 12 podcast, he lives in Minneapolis, and he's a big outdoorsman. He likes to go out and do things and some of the barrier lakes and ice fishing and all that stuff. I think you have to be nuts to want to go sit. I know they've got their cabins all heated and everything, so it's not that bad. But I
Yeah,
think
I
those
hated
people
the
are crazy.
cold.
Yeah,
It was terrible.
yeah. Well, it's dark for 6 months, basically, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, it is.
Um, so you come back to Stillwater, Dayton, Troy. Can y'all talk through like hooking back up? I know y'all knew each other at this point. I mean, with the Collinsville connection, the Eastern Oklahoma connection. Dayton, obviously, a few years older than Troy, but at the same time, there must being at similar weights, having some of those connections. Can y'all talk through your relationship and how that came about when you entered the portal and there was some communication there?
Yeah. So I mean, once Troy entered the portal, I don't know if I reached out or he reached out, one way or the other, but it was pretty much, Obviously I wanted Troy to come be a Cowboy, because I've seen Troy wrestle, especially at the U.S. Open. I think it was probably that year prior to him going in the portal, and he did really well there. Um, and obviously I was always looking for guys that were going to push me, and have guys that I could train with, and I thought Troy would be a great partner for me to have, and obviously a great teammate too. We were kind of in a situation where we didn't really know who was going to be the 25 pounder. So, and Troy gets in the portal, so it was made a lot of sense to reach out to him and see if he wanted to be teammates with me.
Yeah, pretty much what he said. I'm pretty sure I reached out to him just because of that, like something about you can't reach out to people and like they just kind of like to create drama around that where the coaches are reaching out, which it wasn't. I reached out to Dayton, which that's fine. You can reach out to other guys, but you just can't reach out to the coaches, and the coaches can't talk to you. So I'd reached out to Dayton, and he texted me back, and I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna come and be a Cowboy. And so I literally left pretty much as soon as possible, and was down there training as soon as I could be.
Yeah.
I remember as soon as it was, we were able to start getting on the mat, we were on the mat, right away. So we were
Yeah.
in the room, rolling around as soon as possible.
Well, I feel like within a couple of weeks of that, you were at
Pretty sure he was
World Team
competing,
Trials.
getting ready to compete at World Team Trials. Yep.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to
Yeah.
wrestle somewhere. So definitely
I don't
helped
know
out.
if it was World Team Trials, but I think it was something else.
The
Over.
Open.
Was it?
Was
I don't
the
know.
Open?
I don't remember.
Might have been the Open.
Could have been the
I'm
Open.
trying to remember what year it would have been. Would have been
22, 23.
22, I think.
Yeah.
22 or
So
23.
probably might have been the World Team Trials.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the Open was in the fall that year.
Yeah.
Or like
Mhm.
they just changed that this year, didn't they? To have it in the
Mhm.
spring. The well, and then immediately you have some impact too. You go out and make the finals of the U20 trials, right? And wrestle Lilladall, who had been sitting. I mean, can you talk about your freestyle wrestling? Because you have a lot of really great freestyle accolades, and I know this summer you took the year off, but looking ahead at 57 kilos, you've got Spencer Lee there. You've got some talented guys around 57. But it's something that, if you look at next summer or uh, into the next quad, I guess into 2028, which is only a couple of years away, you're definitely somebody that could be a contender at 57 kilos. What are some of your freestyle just experiences? It seems like that was a big focus for you as you were coming up.
Yeah. Well, I could say that I've only wrestled freestyle for 2 years. I've never really trained any freestyle. I barely even know a leg lace. So that's kind of been a big emphasis in my game in freestyle is learning some leg laces. I mean, I worked on them quite a bit with Dayton. He's pretty well known on top for being able to turn guys up. So, but yeah, I have really no experience in freestyle other than 2 years that I made the World Team Trial Finals and won the Open. So I really am pretty new to it. I don't know. I just go out and I scrap.
That's crazy, Troy. I like
Yeah.
this seems to be a theme with you is and that seems also just to be the way when you came in and you made the lineup as a redshirt freshman, you and then in your sophomore season as well, that just seems to be the ethos. You're just going to go out and just do whatever you need to do to kind of make it miserable on your opponent. Um, but you're sitting here telling me this. You don't really have a lot of experience in freestyle. You've you've made the finals twice, and you pushed both Yuri Volk and Lilladall. And then you beat Yuri Volk, didn't you, in freestyle last summer or 2 summers ago? So I mean, that guy's a world champion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
did they both go on? They both went on to win Worlds
Yeah.
too, right? So the guy that you lost to in
Yeah.
the finals both times. They ended up losing to the world champ, so it wasn't like you just lost to some guy that
Right.
went overseas and went 0-2. They went overseas and were the world champ. So you were realistically you could have been one match away from
Right.
being a two-time
Yeah.
champ.
You did win one match in both of those, didn't you?
Not
against
no.
Lilledal.
I think
He gave you two.
Lilledal lost 4-3 and then 7-4.
Right.
And then I lost to Jory the first match and then beat him pretty handily in the second. And then I ended up losing like 3 seconds left on the clock in the third match with a step out.
So you're this is something this is why we do this. Troy, like this is great stuff that we can just learn a bit more about you and your thought process here. You took this summer off, which is understandable because you had a big run and did all the things that you needed to do in your college season. And we'll get back to your college career, but I'm talk to us about going with Roman Bravo Young to Mongolia this summer and kind of being his partner for getting prepared. And last week we had Carter Young on, and he talked about training with Rin Sakamoto and doing those things. I'm sure you're a big part of his preparation for for the World Championships now. Kind of talk us through this as you're looking at your freestyle ambitions and the people that are around you, and not to mention Dayton is right there. So I mean, is this a focal point? I know it is for Coach Taylor and company, but is this something that you just kind of look at it as like, I got business to take care of on the college side. I'm more focused on being a national champion. The freestyle stuff will come, or like, is it?
So we had sat down after nationals and kind of we talked about it, me and the staff, and I was like, yeah, like it pretty much worked out where we were like, listen, let's just focus on folk style and we'll worry about freestyle next year going into it, which I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, pretty much my focal point's been folk style. I want to be a national champ, so that's my focus over the summer. But like the coaches always preach to us, like be there for the guys that need it now because they're going to be the guys that are going to be there for you when you're getting ready and preparing to go win a national title. So I'm just there to help those guys that are wanting to go and become world champs, so that's just kind of been my focus over the summer is getting better at the folk style side, but also being there for the guys that are looking to win world titles. So
Amazing. So let's go back to your college seasons so far. You've got 2 under your belt. You're going to be a junior this coming season. Thinking about your freshman year, you transferred into Oklahoma State. You win the starting job immediately, and you're part of a really dynamic 1-2 punch there with Dayton. And you went out and you really made a great name for yourself early in the season by picking up some high quality wins in that 2024 season. You started off undefeated into the CKLV. You lost a couple of matches there, and then you pulled a really big win over Luke Stanich in the Lehigh duel. Can you kind of walk us through your, getting into the mat, being in folk style, being part of that really, really solid lineup, and just kind of making your name for yourself at Oklahoma State?
Yeah, it was awesome to get in the starting lineup, but I feel like I wanted to be there so I could, get some energy going for, Dayton when the next guy's coming up. I just kind of feel like I got to be the guy that goes out and sets the tone for my team. But not only my team, but the guy that's right next to me, he's getting ready to go out. I kind of like to be the guy that goes and sets the tone for that guy out there, kind of gives him a little bit more firepower, gets him a little bit more excited. So I just kind of like to be the guy that sets the tone for the team.
Well, that's what they called you, a spark plug, right? That's the nickname that kind of came up for you.
Yeah.
So being the
Yeah,
guy who steps in.
Isaac actually gave me that. Isaac gave me that nickname. He started that, so that's where it came from.
Amazing. And did he accomplish that kind of thing, Dayton, with getting the energy up and um, being a dynamic wrestler? I mean, because that's you are, your first. I mean, looking back at your results, you scored a lot of bonus points, and recalling how you wrestled that season, you just seemed to leave a lot out there. You would make sure that you um, did what you could do to score points and um, be a fun wrestler to watch.
Yeah, just anytime that somebody goes out there and is always trying to score, always going forward, um, and just has a lot of energy out there, it makes it easier on the guys coming up next. Whenever someone goes out there and they're going to stand around and it's going to be a 1 point match, it's just kind of it's hard to get excited while you're standing there next ready to go. So it was always easy, following Troy up. He was always out there looking to score points. Didn't matter if it was big match or just wrestling some smaller school. He was going out there and really trying to put points on the board and just keep scoring points the whole match. So that was it was fun to follow him up. And I always tried to do my best to keep that same energy.
You were pretty fortunate to follow. 125 has had a really good run here for Oklahoma State over the past several years, going from Nick Piccinini to Master Giovanni, who I know had his struggles, but was still a pretty dynamic wrestler, very dynamic wrestler, actually, to Reese Whitcraft doing Reese Whitcraft things when he was able to get down to 125 pounds. But with Troy, what was it about his style, swagger that really made you respond to his text message in the first place? And then what is it that makes you excited about him over these next couple of college years?
I mean, he wants to win. It's I feel for him. This past year, make the finals, and he come up a little short. So I know kind of what he's went through this summer, and I think he's been doing the right thing. Just staying in the room and focusing on getting better. And the reason that I reached out to him in the first place was just because I knew that he was going to be pretty good, and just off the mat he's really fun to be around. And you want to be around those kind of guys. Great wrestlers, but even better people off the mat. And I think that Troy fits that mold.
That seems to be a very common thing. Like I said, we talked to Carter Young last week. Connor Doucette has been on Luke Serber, Teague Track. Like, it's that family atmosphere. Troy, as you have an interesting perspective, and we've talked to Isaac Olenek about this a few times as well. But coming from somewhere else and back into Oklahoma State family atmosphere is what they call it. How much has that rung true for you as your journey with OSU has really solidified here?
Yeah, pretty much it's all been the same for all of us. I mean, we're a pretty big family, we're a tight group. Nothing goes, without any one of us knowing, so we like to keep anything that happens in between us, and we don't try to let it get out. And just yeah, the fan atmosphere is crazy. They love seeing you go out and beat people up, score points.
I think that's why they like you, because you do score points. So let's talk about. Well, actually, I still want to talk about last season a little bit, or not last season, but your freshman season a little bit. You went out there and you just picked up some really high quality wins. I mean, you beat Richie Figueroa, who's now your teammate, majored him. You beat Noah Certain, who was that at Missouri? It was at Missouri, which is not that, we called that the Noah Certain Electric Factory, the Hearn Center, just because the guy would go out there and pin people. You pushed Drake Ayala, who was a finalist at that point, to sudden victory. You had him in a couple different places. I mean, what, and then even talking about your freestyle stuff, what has given you the confidence to just go out and say, like, I'm gonna win these? Is it something that has just been instilled in you throughout your career? You know you're good enough because you've gone out and won these matches, or is there something that you're the way you were raised or just kind of coached, or can you talk us through your thought process there?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that I'm wired, but I don't know. It's also just the people that I'm around. I mean, look, I'm around Dayton Fix, Thomas Gilman, Coach Kennedy, Roman, Rin. I'm around the best guys. I mean, so it's like, how do you not get the confidence to go out there and beat these guys up? I always tell myself, I'm like, these guys, like the guys that I train with, they go out there and smash this guy. You know, I believe it. They go out there and smash this guy. So why would I not go out there and do the exact same? So I don't know if it's the confidence or just I know the guys that I train with train at a high level every day. So it's like, why would I not get that confidence to go out there and beat these guys up?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to go about it. I mean, heck, if it's I get to wrestle with people who are better than this every day, then why wouldn't I just go ahead and take care of business? And that's ultimately talking about your sophomore season now. You just you had the injection of Thomas Gilman into the situation. What kind of impact did he have on you in your training regimen and the way that you approach things and the way that you just kind of stayed calm while also bringing the intensity that he has? Um, how much did that bleed over for you?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I feel like we're very similar in a lot of ways. So it was really easy to build that relationship and bond with him. Um, yeah, definitely the intensity part. I think he's really intense, but I think most people wouldn't think that he's a really well thought out guy, and he can put together a lot of great thoughts. And he's always got a positive attitude towards everything. Yeah, like he's an awesome guy to be around. Um, but yeah, he's an interesting guy. I love him. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, look, I'm on record with being a big Thomas Gilman fan after getting to know him. Uh, I always enjoyed talking to him, and I'm with you on that. He definitely um, uh, was fun to talk to and very positive. But I'm curious about, was there technique that he brought, or was there just were there things that he was seeing that you weren't necessarily uh, having
yeah.
click before?
I mean, there's always things that I'm not seeing that they're all seeing. You know, Dayton comes to me and tells me things that I'm not seeing either. I think when you just got that outside perspective and you got a high level mindset, you know, sometimes I can get a little bit too like narrowed in, but these guys, they have an awesome mind. You know, I can go to them and like maybe if they're not telling me, I can go and ask them. That's what, you know, the best wrestlers do. They go and ask questions, see what they got to work on. I think just with him, I mean, just the technique, I think it was just more reps. It's not all the technique you need. It's more so just the reps that you need, repetition, with him, just the more you do it, I mean, the better you're going to get at it.
Mhm.
There's really not, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's not really much you can do, you got to go out there and finish a single leg. You got to go out there and finish a high crotch,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it's really well thought out in the hand fighting. I feel like that's where I made the biggest gain was my hand fighting into my shots. I mean, I don't know, but I feel like that's where Dayton has made a lot of growth too, is in his hand fighting to his attacks as well, So that's where I feel like he brought a lot of that into our program.
Yeah. Nice. So let's talk about the season a little bit. Early in the season, there was definitely some squirrely situations that popped up against Bridger Ricks and Maximo Renteria and heck, Yori Volk, where you were giving up some weird penalty points and um, some other things. Can you walk us through what was going on there? It's just kind of Dayton and I were kind of speculating at the time. But it's just kind of squirrely situations that you allowed to happen, and you still pulled out wins, but you just had to kind of gut it out a little bit there.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to see how hard I can make it on myself, I think. Uh
Was it the Patrick McKee bleed over like that
yeah,
instance that he had?
I think I was just trying to see how hard I can make it on myself and see if I could pull myself out of it. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know, there was some weird positions for sure. I think one of them they called me. I think the one definitely was for leaving my feet, but then another one he like the Bridge Ricks one, he forward rolled and like I don't know how you want me to like not leave my feet. Like I was in a crab ride when he stood up, so I like kind of he rolled and they still called me for leaving my feet. So it's kind of a weird uh area on that one. And then I think in the Maximo Renteria one, I said I had a front headlock, but I was probably trying to choke him out.
Hmm.
So
Okay. Um,
yeah.
can we talk about that crab ride a little bit? Where I I have to imagine like Dayton uses that. I have to imagine Guerrero did some coaching on that in Bixby. But where did that become such an effective tool in your arsenal? I mean, you use that, you go to that a lot when you start on top, and it's effective. You typically are able to get some cheap back points that way, and it's a good technique that is working for you, but it just seems so simple that, it's like, well, why don't more guys do this? Because it's probably actually really hard to do it on most guys, right? But it's something that you've been really good at. What made you think like, hey, this is something I'm going to focus on getting those reps so that I'm really good at this? So is it just because I can go rack up 3, 4 points quickly?
Yeah, I think it's just I can go to the crab ride, and if they stand up, I can mat return them. And then when I mat return them, they usually place their hands on the mat, so I can go right into my crab ride. It's just, and it's a lot of reps, so I just don't even. Most of the time, I don't even think about it. I just go right to it, and I usually end up in back points. So I don't know. It's just something that I've always done. I just remember seeing Logan Seaver dominate guys with it. So I just kind of something I was like, well, this guy does it and he dominates people. I feel like I should probably pick this up. And they kind of don't let you use the arm anymore, so it's kind of harder to find back points, and the refs are a little weird on the back point exposure.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I find myself like mid match laughing because I'm like, dude, this is back points. It's got to be like I'm looking at this guy's shoulder and you're not counting back points. It's kind of weird, but it's hard because if you pull the arm to their back, they instantly are like watching it like a hawk, and
Mm.
you can't really, you know what I mean? Just, well, some guys don't want to go over, but it's like, I don't know. It's weird, but yeah, I don't know. It's just something that I like doing.
Yeah. So you work through your season and you have just a ton of success this year. I mean, it was especially after the two-match skid there against Vincent Robinson in the duel and Jet Strickenberger in the duel. After that, you just really turned on the Jets in the next, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 matches. You scored bonus points in 6 of them, and a lot of bonus points. I mean, we're looking at 20 to 10, 10 to 1, 18 to 1, 17 to 3, 10 to nothing. I mean, you dominated the schedule, and these aren't chumps either. I mean, it is um, uh, uh, Ethan Perryman at Iowa State was a blue chip recruit. Gage Walker from Missouri, who I know you're very familiar with, being a Bixby guy. Um, uh, Joey Cruz at Iowa was a blue chipper at OU that transferred up to Iowa, right? So Gage Walker again, Tanner Jordan, who knocked you out of the NCAA tournament the year before. I mean, these are guys that are um, really like they're all American caliber guys that you just kind of went and beat up on. What was it that clicked after those losses?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to lose again. I hate losing. It's just something that I can't stand. I can't stand losing. So I just I talked with Gilman and I was like, what's gonna make me separate myself from these guys? And it's really, I mean, there's nothing special you can do. It's just you got to go out there and enforce your will on this guy and just put all the techniques together and just sometimes you just got to find your way to a leg and score and put a guy down, put him down hard. There's really no techniques to it. I just wanted to go out and dominate these guys. I wanted to try to separate myself and what was going to make me be a national champ. And I felt like that was the best plan was to go out there and just try to separate myself every match I went out and just keep getting better, keep using that momentum too. I mean, when I'm going out there and I'm measuring these guys that are well trained guys, and I'm going out there and I'm smashing them. I feel like when I'm just using that momentum and I kept propelling myself every week, I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna use all my techniques on them and I'm gonna try to dominate them.
And then in NCAA's in the quarterfinals, you run into Matt Ramos, who beat you at CKLV, and is a returning NCAA finalist, and all things, right. Um, and you just said it. Sometimes you just got to go get it a leg and score, and that's exactly what you did in that match. But you're going into that one, and that's your test, your big test at NCAA's to this point. I know Steve O'Poulin, you didn't exactly have an easy draw there with.
No, yeah. Me and Steve-O, we actually grew up training partners when we were kids, when
Yeah.
all like his YouTube stuff was blowing up and he was like 7 years old. I was with him and I trained with him every single day. We used to wrestle each other at every single youth tournament there was. Because when I was younger, I would go up A troop because he's older than me. So, but yeah, I mean, we trained every day. So it was definitely weird because we had never wrestled each other in high school or in college up until then. So it was kind of weird just because we were best friends when we were little. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is interesting. It's interesting y'all
yeah.
didn't hit at Big 12s last year or your freshman year because he didn't he win the Big 12 championship?
No, he
No,
won
it
it
was
the year before I
gotcha.
got there. He won it the
Okay.
year before I got there. Yep.
Um, well now he's at Iowa State, so you're gonna see him a couple times this year, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah.
So um let's talk about getting to the finals. You're in that position, you're with guys, I know Dayton was there. Obviously, your other coaches or your coaches are there. Um, as you're waiting around all day for that, I mean, what was that like as you're, thinking about like I got teammates that are in their placing matches. I've got I'm gonna eat. And I think Vincent Robinson was probably I think he was probably pretty heavy in that match, wasn't he? So
Yeah, I mean,
it
I don't know, but he probably was. So
but
I'm not very big, so a lot of these guys feel pretty big to me.
but kind of walk us through preparing and getting your mind into a place where it's going to go out. Is it kind of like every other match, or what was it that um, um, if there was anything that made it different, if you could talk through the preparation, or how much was
Um,
Dayton helping you, or Gilman or anybody else?
yeah, no, I think from the previous year, when we wrestled at Big 12s when I was with Dayton, just kind of how he took about to like, I mean, I was a freshman, so I didn't really know, how I'm gonna get prepared, what I'm gonna do, all day. So it kind of just went under his wing during my freshman year when I was getting ready for the Big 12s and kind of just we go and eat and then wait a little bit and then go and run, get a little workout in, just kind of get you firing and then go out and compete. So I kind of just pretty much tried to mimic that, just getting ready for the finals. It was not much different, just I try to, keep things simple and repeat the same things. Um, yeah, for the finals, I don't know. It was, I mean, more people, but it felt like just being in Gallagher. I mean, we ran up the stairs, how many times this year, so it's like there's nothing really that was new. You know, you're in the finals. You know, it's just another wrestling match. More fans. That's probably about it. So
That's amazing. Amazing stuff, Troy. As you're looking at this coming season, I think there's a lot of people who are discounting your success from last year, and they're automatically putting you, obviously Vincent Robinson back in the finals, and Luke Lillidahl and Yori Volk re-enters the fold right after his injury this past season. But I think that there's some folks that are kind of putting you on a back burner nationally, which how much does it doesn't matter, right? But does that also kind of encourage you to say, well, that F it, we're going to go out and win this thing this coming year. I can do it. I've beaten all these guys. Um, you can hang with Vincent Robinson. You can hang with Luke Lillidahl. You can hang with Jet Strickenberger and Yori Volk and Steve O'Poulin, whatever, you name it. Um,
yeah,
I guess as you're preparing for this coming season and you focused on folk style and that seems to be your tunnel vision. What is it that you're looking forward to this coming year?
uh, yeah. I mean, Dayton knows how I think. I really don't care. You know what they have me ranked. If they have me ranked lower, that's fine. If they have me ranked higher, that's fine. I'm just looking to go out and repeat the same thing I did last year. Go out, score points, keep it simple, and dominate these guys. Put them away. I think it's just going back to the guys that I train with. I mean, it's simple. It's not hard, when you got the best guys you train with every day. So it's just, and I mean, if they think that they're gonna count me out, that's fine. I'll just show up every week like I usually do, and I go to work.
It's really something, Troy. I mean, again, I'm blown away to hear that you've really only done freestyle for a couple of years because just thinking about like, yeah, I mean, you've got Dayton, you've got RBY, you've got Jax Forest now entering the
Yeah,
fold. You've got Rin Sakamoto. Look, there was another thing, which who cares? Who cares what they think? Rin Sakamoto making the 57 kilo spot for Team Japan is a massive deal. Japan is very, very good at 57 kilos. They're very deep.
yeah,
7 kilos. So that's a huge deal. You've got heck, Ignacio Villasenor, you know, sitting around. He's a very high quality wrestler. You've the Rainey's coming in. You got all these people that are around you. I mean, this to your point, is there a better lightweight room in the world than the one in Stillwater, Oklahoma?
I mean, no, there's definitely not. As far as I know, I don't think there is.
Yeah. Maybe somewhere in Russia, but that's
Maybe.
who knows. Who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe.
Dayton, do you have anything you want to ask Troy or talk through here as we kind of start to wrap up?
Just talk about some of your hobbies a little bit. We know, you got a big old deer head right behind you, so just talk about some of your hunting and fishing in some of those stores.
Yeah, I like usually hunting or fishing. Um, Pretty much that's about it. I got a good story. My freshman year, even Dayton, I think he knows this one. Uh, During the beginning of the season, that's usually like when hunting season starts, and I'm a pretty big bow hunter. I love bow hunting. Well, I was even though John Smith's practices are super hard, I was hunting before the practices and after the practices every day that I could get in the woods. And coach finally came to me. I don't remember what duel it was, but after we were like riding home, and he goes, "If you don't effing get out of the tree stand, I'm gonna come to your house and I'm gonna steal your bow and your hunting clothes." And from that point on, I just was like, "All right, yeah, I'm probably not gonna go out there. This guy's serious." And he was right down the road from me, so I knew he wasn't joking. He said it as if he was joking, but I knew he was serious.
They definitely have stolen, or they definitely have gone in and stolen like an Xbox and other things like that before. So
Yeah,
he wasn't joking.
yeah, no, yeah, no. I was almost positive that he would take my stuff, so I was like, yeah, I probably should stay out of the woods. But yeah, I like fishing too. That's pretty much it. That's all I do: wrestle, hunt, fish.
Yeah. What
Stillwater's a
you and
pretty good
Cade
place to do
Brock?
that too.
I'm sorry, what was that, Dayton?
Stillwater's a pretty good place to do all that. So
Yeah, I mean, Dayton knows some stories, but can't share 'em.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. I am curious about Cade Brock is still around. I'm sure that you guys all go out and get into
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah. Like you said, whatever. I don't know.
Well, is your
But
family still around you follow? That's some pretty heavy hunting area down there too, right? And fishing especially.
no, they're not. They're here in Stillwater, and then I actually have a sister, and she rides horses out in Florida or North Carolina. They kind of go back and forth. So
Nice.
she rides horses, and my mom and dad go over there, and they'll come back every so often. So, but yeah, pretty much just me and my two little brothers. They live with me.
Amazing. Well, Troy, is there anything you want to leave Cowboys fans with here as we wrap up? What do you want them to expect? And then how can we best support you through these next 2 seasons wearing orange and then beyond as you're looking at LA?
Yeah, I think that the fans should just look forward to us all going out and scoring points. I mean, that's what we preach in the room, just going out, scoring points, and dominating people. I think they should be excited about that. And then just the fan atmosphere, that's always amazing. I feel like it's just growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. So just keep that up. I think it's awesome.
Amazing. Well, thanks so much for sharing so much with us, man. Again, there was some mystery around, your come up and mindset and things like that. So I'm glad we got to know you a little bit better and um, really looking forward to seeing you back on the mat. I think that um, the growth is exponential at this point. So, going out and winning that national championship and then having the opportunity to do it again your senior year, just really puts you in a unique position to um, cement yourself as a Cowboy legend.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, as always, make sure to like and subscribe and do all the things that we ask you to do. Most importantly, if you have a friend that is a wrestling fan, please share this with them. The rest of the stuff is pretty much unimportant because we're not trying to uh, monetize this or anything, but we definitely want people listening and learning more about how awesome these guys are. So thanks for all of the support thus far, and looking forward to bringing y'all more of these interviews. We've still got another, gosh, Dayton, I think we've got another like 8 or 9 lined up. So we're going to stay busy and into November. We'll go Pokes, and we'll see y'all next week.